We all understand that China has the world's largest manufacturing sector, second largest consumer market, and largest trading market. Data indicates that China's GDP will reach 114.34 trillion yuan in 2021, successfully exceeding the 110 trillion milestones, as a result of the combined efforts of the Chinese people. In dollars, it equaled $17.73 trillion. China's economy is on track to reach a new high as the driving force behind global economic expansion. China continues to have the second largest economy in the world. The most intriguing economic data comes from China and the United States, the two largest economies in the world. According to the most recent revision of U.S. economic growth data, in 2021 the U.S. GDP growth rate will change from the previous 5.7% to 5.6% and the GDP change will reach $23.02 trillion. This data maintains the U.S. at the top of the list, with China's GDP surpassing three-quarters economy for a century and has always been the world's economic power. Especially after vastly outperforming other nations and assuming the rightful leadership. However, not just in economics, the United States is the leading power not just globally, but also in the military, technology, and other sectors. This needs to be accepted. But is the United States truly unbeatable? Of course not. An excellent example of this is the closing GDP gap between China and the United States. China's economic development used to be among the slowest in the entire globe. China has endured many years of battle as the so-called backwardness will be overcome. The entire nation aggressively battled against it in order to more effectively liberate China. China ultimately prevailed in the resistance battle. However, China's economy was extremely adrift when it came under artillery bombardment. There were multiple famines prior to the reform and opening up. Without enough food to eat, the population lacked the energy to grow the economy. China's leader, Te is Legic and Fr. Majorities marked the beginning of economic development in 1978, and ever since then, the country's economy has expanded quickly. China's foreign commerce has also started to grow. And it has earned the reputation of being the world's factory. China had a big population at the time, which resulted in an abundance of labor, resources, and affordable goods. Costs in wealthy nations. For the sake of utilizing China's labor force to its fullest, businesses have considered establishing OEM factories there. Foreign foundries have helped the local economy grow and provided locals with work prospects. Additionally, China's industrial sector has significant advantages on the global market. The major factor allowing it to keep its advantages in the global market is the low cost of labor, low cost of producing goods, and low cost of sales. The well-developed export industry of the nation has given the Chinese economy a great deal of energy for its fast expansion. The world was surprised when China's economy grew at an average pace of 9% during the following 40 years. The overall GDP of my nation likewise overcame 5 obstacles before surpassing Japan in 2010 to take over as the second largest economy in the world. Of all, even as China's economy expands quickly, the US economy continues to thrive and has always held the top spot. However, recent data from the United States indicates that the country's economy will only begin to steadily improve in 2021, when it is projected to increase by 5.6% and reach a total of $23,023.5 trillion. Even if the new crown pandemic has essentially stabilized by the year 2021, there are still sporadic reports of a rise, local cases in certain locations, and minor local breakouts. Thus, it continues to have an effect, and outbreaks continue. Thus, it continues to have an effect on the economy. As a result, it will be difficult for the economy to increase by 8% in 2021. Second, something is changing. Let's start by discussing the US economy. Despite likewise displaying a 5.6% growth rate, it has several implausible aspects. Of fact, the epidemic's effects are still what led to the tragedy. Alternative preventative and control strategies, targeting herd immunity, and not endorsing immunization or the use of masks. This has caused the number of new crown cases in the United States to skyrocket. And the economy will be handled by whoever is unwell. Therefore, the US economy will see a severe decline in 2020. After the low point, the United States started issuing dollars in large quantities to stimulate the economy. However, in April, July, August, and September, global prices began to rise due to inflation, and by May, July, the value of the currency had significantly declined. The United States is also not immune to this trend. Although inflation encourages a rise in US GDP, this is a deceptive gain, and buying power is still trending downward. The effect is severe if long-term inflation persists. Let's examine China's economic expansion, which formerly served as core businesses, is inadequate. The performance of the whole real estate business is poor, mostly because of the country's execution of the policy of housing and not speculating, as well as the limitations of the asset-heavy industry itself. In addition to the real estate industry's poor performance, the internet sector, which is recognized for excessive remuneration, has also seen a drop in monopoly regulation and has been penalized for its monopolistic practices by Tencent, Alibaba, and other corporations. The sentencing guidelines were instantly posted on the hot search and generated a lot of controversy as soon as they were released. The company's stock price has also dropped, and the reduction policy has nearly caused the whole education sector, which had been growing rapidly recently, to collapse. Only a small number of specialty programs are left. China's economy. How have the three main industries developed? China's economic growth momentum is stronger than that of the United States, even if China's economic growth rate, including the growth rate of new energy, is still far behind that of the United States. According to the most recent growth statistics, high-tech manufacturing will undoubtedly continue to develop even after the demographic dividend is gone. This is the last sprint stage, and China will eventually overtake the Americans. What are your thoughts on this?